Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Hear Me Out. I'm Jackson Zuber. This is Harrison Klopp, and we're vibing up here. We feel good. I got a Hawaiian shirt on. You got that nice black Tommy Bahama shirt on. Boy, do you look good. You know who didn't look good, Harrison? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team, before the year started, and even before this week, was a team a lot of people thought maybe is the best team in the NFC. And a Super Bowl hopeful team, but you lose to the 4-1 Chicago Bears, which when I say it, it doesn't sound bad, but if you've watched any of their games, you know this might be the worst 4-1 team of all time. It's been ugly wins for them. They're still winning, which is good, but this Tampa Bay team should not lose to them. So my question is, Harrison, do you still believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I'll say this, I do believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I had one problem going into the season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that was how can they handle this young secondary? And they've handled it exceptionally well. Carlton Davis really locked down Allen Robinson tonight, got an interception. Antoine Winfield Jr., if you had asked me who's my rookie of the year through a quarter through the season, I would go with Antoine Winfield Jr. He's been that good. The question I have with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is not the abundance of weapons or the good offensive line. It's with Tom Brady. And I know that sounds crazy because Tom Brady, flashback only a week ago to last Sunday, where he does play that Chargers team, throws for 5 touchdowns. And everyone's, Tom Brady, wow, he's so good, so good. The first half of that game, throws an interception to Michael Davis, pick 6. Tonight, he misses an end zone shot to his tight end. He misses shots to Mike Evans. There's times where Tom Brady looks really good, like the GOAT, like the Tom Brady of years prior. But there's times that I've seen Tom Brady this season where he hasn't looked good. He's missed throws. He doesn't have the quickest arm at times. Sometimes he really does zip it, but sometimes he doesn't. If the Bucs want to compete for a Super Bowl, which I think they could, because the roster is that good, the coaching staff is that good, Tom Brady's got to be more consistent. Jackson, he just wasn't that good tonight.
Hey, you're not wrong, and Harrison, I know you're probably thinking, Last week when we were talking, I was hyping up this Buccaneers team. I was saying, I wasn't on the bandwagon at first, but I'm hopping on the train and I'm in the front. I'm driving it. But now I might be moving back in the train cars.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You're saying that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are no longer your top team in the NFC?
They are not, and here's why. I had raised concerns before the season started about Tom Brady. I even said, I believe I said something about, he's going down to Florida to retire. I know he would never say that because he's the ultimate competitor, but you look at their 2 quote-unquote biggest games this year, Thursday night, and when they played in the game of the week against the Saints, a rival team in their division, and they lost both of those. Those are the 2 games that they've lost. He didn't play that good against the Chargers until he played very, very good, and maybe that's just seeing just a little bit of spark that's left in him. The guy that I do believe in is Aaron Rodgers and this Packers team. You give me Aaron Rodgers on a revenge tour. He said he had a down year last year, even though it would be a career year for anybody else. It's a down year for him. You give him this running back, Aaron Jones, who's incredible, a good defense, and even a little bit more incentive with them drafting his future replacement. Let this guy show that this is still his league. And I think Packers Super Bowl, it might be my pick now.
So let me get this straight. Packers are your team in the NFC. We're making that clear.
I'm hammering it down. I've been messing around. You get a quarter of the way through the year, and then you make your pick. And my pick is the Green Bay Packers.
Well, my pick to start the year was the 49ers. I'm throwing that out the window. And if you had asked me who the best team in the NFC is, I totally agree with you. I'd say Green Bay. Matt LaFleur, quarter of the way through too, is probably the coach of the year. Him and Aaron Rodgers are just on such a good chemistry right now. He's throwing to Alan Lazard, who undrafted out of Central Florida. I mean, he's throwing to Robert Tonyan, a guy that really no one had any interest in coming out of Iowa. And he makes them look like superstars. Aaron Rodgers can continually do the most with so little. It is actually insane. I think a team that could surprise people, though, maybe not surprise because they are really good and undefeated, is Seattle, but their secondary is the worst in the league, Jackson. They've allowed 1,604 yards through 4 games. That's 238 more yards than the 0-4 Atlanta Falcons, whose defense at times just looks unwatchable. But Seattle's defense has been worse. But where has Seattle been good?
Harrison, I think I know this one. They've been letting Russ cook.
They have let Russ cook. 16 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. He's on such a great, pace with them, where I do think Seattle could be that team to come out of the NFC. Again, it is only a quarter way through. We'll still see a lot of football left to be played. But Jackson, hear me out. I've got a parlay I want your opinion on. Three-bet parlay.
Okay.
We're going to start college football. Notre Dame is a 21-point favorite against Florida State. I think they're going to cover that 21-point spread. Florida versus Texas A&M. I like the over of 58. Both big-time offenses. Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts at Florida looking like the 1-2 combo for the Heisman Trophy right now. And my final pick of the parlay, Jackson. You ready for this one?
Oh, okay.
The Lakers Game 5 money line minus 310 against the Miami Heat. And I know I picked the Lakers in 6, but that Goran Dragic injury, he's their third best guy. And when he goes out, I don't think they can, they don't have the manpower to compete with an Anthony Davis, a LeBron James, and a playoff Rondo who's been so good. I mean, the Lakers bench has really come alive. Everyone except Danny Green, really. I do think this series will be over in 5. I mean, LeBron James can see the Larry O'Brien trophy courtside and a Louis Vuitton briefcase they've got it in this year. I don't think he's going to slip up. The Lakers have won every series so far in these playoffs by 5. I don't expect that trend to stop in the finals.
Look, Harrison, I'm known as a little bit of an out-of-the-box thinker. So I do disagree with you on one of these picks, but it's not the one that people would expect. Maybe I could say that a 21-point spread is just too much to overcome. But, I love to see a good team beat down on a bad team, so I'll leave you with that one. I could say that 58 points is way too high to be betting the over, but, I always love smashing the over, so let's go for that. The one that I'm going to disagree with you on is the one that nobody would disagree with you on. The Lakers have been undefeated wearing the Mamba jerseys, and guess which jerseys they're wearing, Harrison? Which jerseys are they wearing?
The Mamba jerseys?
They're wearing the Mamba jerseys, they're so cool. They're going to look great. But I'm going to disagree with you on that one, and honestly, I could say it's for a lot of reasons, but it's for one reason. It is for Jimmy Butler and the aggressiveness of this Heat team. I don't see them going quietly into the night. They are not going to just lay over and die. I think they win this one game just to prove that they did deserve to get here. And then it's Lakers in 6. They're going to take it. They're going to take it after that. But Harrison, we talk about the NBA playoffs. I much rather talk a little baseball, my MLB playoffs. They've been super interesting, honestly. A lot of stuff that people would not have expected. The biggest surprise of it all being the Padres going down in 3 games to the Dodgers, because people thought that this Padres team was the one team that maybe could go after them. Now, obviously, they had some issues with some pitching injuries. They couldn't have all their best guys go as much as they might have wanted to, but they did go down in 3. The Marlins were the surprise team in the playoffs. They've never lost a playoff series in their whole lifetime as a team, and they went down in 3 to the Atlanta Braves, and that was surprising. So now we're getting that Braves-Dodgers matchup in the next round. But the biggest surprise of them all, bigger than those two, which, hard to believe, right? Hard to believe. The Houston Astros are on a revenge tour, which I don't think they really deserve. They were cheaters, but that's what they're calling it. They're calling it a revenge tour. They didn't play that good during the regular season, but they snuck their way into the playoffs, and now they've looked like a team that nobody wants to face. And the teams that are going to have to face it, the Yankees and the Rays, are playing in a Game 5 now. The Rays are having to play their best pitcher on a 2-game rest. If they make it through, they might have troubles. The Yankees might have troubles with those Astros, but none of it's going to matter at the end of the day, because the Los Angeles Dodgers are the best team in baseball, and it's not even close anymore. You give an already stacked team Mookie Betts, and you give a Clayton Kershaw who can actually pitch in the playoffs now, I don't see this team losing, and as much as it hurts me to say, Dodgers are winning the World Series this year. Harrison, who do you got?
Listen, this is a debate show, Jackson. I want to come out here and say, oh, you're so wrong. I can't, though. I mean, the Dodgers are so complete, and the way Kershaw is playing, it would be, I would be a fool to bet against them. I do think there is a team in the AL, they do have a Game 5 coming up, that if they do beat the Rays, the New York Yankees, I think, could surprise people. They've got insane bats, and they are short on pitching. I mean, Garrett Cole's fabulous, but after that, they don't really have incredible depth there. Giancarlo Stanton's playing unbelievable right now. Gio Urshela is playing great. DJ LeMahieu's playing, he's always good.
Oh, that's your favorite guy. I
love DJ LeMahieu. Always good. I would say if the Yankees can beat the Rays, I think they have enough bat power where they can really, really surprise people if the pitching can stay consistent. And that's going to be the question with New York, but I do agree with you. I have the Dodgers winning the World Series right now.
Harrison, I hear you out with the Yankees, but you know what they have to do first? They got to beat the Rays. I love this kind of the little brother going after the big brother of the Yankees. They've been just barely worse than them the last couple years, and now finally, the Rays were the best team in the American League. But I guess we're going to have to see what happens with that one, and you guys are going to have to see what happens next week here on Hear Me Out.